This is Winnie. She's an 11-week-old domestic shorthair. We had been talking about getting another cat for months, but when you already have pets, you don't want to upset them by getting a new one. And you want the new member of the family to assimilate in as best as possible. And with that, there were a lot of things to consider. First and foremost was our current pets. Daisy is still very much so a puppy. A big one at 11 months old, but still a puppy. She's high energy, she loves to play, she loves to run, and she loves to chase. Despite that though, she's typically very gentle with our other cat, Ellie. They frequently play together, and if we see that Daisy wants to play but Ellie doesn't, a simple call of her name redirects her to us away from the cat. Our other dog, Oreo, has experienced a new pet enter our lives twice already. So what's a third time? He's chill. He sticks to himself. With Oreo, there weren't really any concerns of it working out. We knew he'd be fine. And then there's Ellie. Ellie grew up with Oreo, so she's cool with dogs, but we've never introduced her to another cat before. However, we had high hopes because not only is she a very tolerant cat, she's a very outgoing cat. If someone new comes over to our house, she doesn't really hide away. After a few minutes, she's always playing and getting pets from the guests as though she's known them for years. So we hoped that if we got a new cat, Ellie would be quick to warm up to them. Then we had to consider what kind of cat we wanted. We wanted a young cat since we wanted them to be able to grow up around dogs like we did with Ellie. Also, Ellie is still a young cat, so a kitten is still close enough in age to work out well with her. With all that in mind, we decided to visit the same PetSmart that we adopted Ellie from. On Saturdays, they run adoption events, and lo and behold, there was Winnie. She was part of a litter of 3 kittens, and a family had just adopted 2 of them. Winnie was the one kitten left, and I thought that was perfect. I'm a tad bit obsessed with Winnie the Pooh, and here is this little cow print kitten available for adoption, and her name is Winnie. So of course I couldn't say no. On the car ride back home, she seemed pretty calm. She meowed just a little and mostly laid down. When we got home, we set up the bathroom to be her little room to stay in while all of the pets adjusted. Although first impressions were going well so far. We spent some time with Winnie in the bathroom, and that was it for day 1. Despite the initial good impressions, Winnie was by no means best friends with our other pets. Ellie would stand outside of the door and hiss at Winnie under the door. And Winnie was quite scared of our dogs. To begin acclimating everyone to each other, we put a few of the dogs' toys and one of Ellie's beds in Winnie's bathroom. That way she could get used to their scents, and outside of the bathroom, we left the carrier that Winnie came in so that Ellie and our other pets could get used to Winnie's scent. Although, it was mostly for Ellie. We knew that the dogs wouldn't be much of an issue, so we began by doing some gentle introductions. We gave Winnie food and had each of the dogs come in and stay in her room for a few minutes. At first, she was a little cautious, but once she saw that the dogs wouldn't do anything, she realized that they were all right and didn't really care. Later in the day, once the hissing stopped, it was Ellie's turn. Again, we poured some food out for Winnie and grabbed some of Ellie's favorite treats and brought them into the same room. At first, we fed them from a distance, and then when we saw that they were calm and seemingly okay within each other's presence, we moved their food a little closer to each other. Once the food ran out, though, they seemed to be okay until they made eye contact. Then Ellie would hiss, and that would be the end of that. On the third day, Winnie was much more playful. She spent all morning wanting to play nonstop. Ellie hissed by the door only once or twice in the morning, but that was the last time that she did it. So we repeated the same thing as yesterday. We brought them together and gave them their favorite foods, and their reactions were about the same. There were no problems when there was food, but once the food was gone, no eye contact. Day 4 felt like more of the same. We brought each pet in and gave them some treats. Although it didn't feel much like it, there was some progress being made. Ellie began carefully approaching Winnie more and more often, and they were starting to share occasional glances at one another without any hissing. Although it was a minor improvement, it was another sign that Winnie and Ellie would get along well with each other soon enough. Overall, things were optimistic, and we were happy to be making some progress. On this day, there was a sudden breakthrough. After feeding them some treats as normal, all of a sudden, Ellie realized that Winnie was a friend, not a foe. She didn't mind making eye contact with Winnie, and she actually started playing with her. There was some hiding and seeking, some playful swatting, and pouncing. Just the other day, they were hissing at each other, but now they're playing. Since they were getting along well, we decided that it was time for Winnie to start opening up to the rest of the house. She explored and played with Ellie all day. Things were going extremely well. Ellie would sometimes play too rough though and scare Winnie, but after another day or two, Winnie learned that she's just playing, and now they're truly best friends. Ellie grooms Winnie all of the time. She meows around the house calling for Winnie. They eat together. They cuddle up together. We were worried that Ellie might not take well to a new cat, but she's been happier than ever. Her whole routine has changed to revolve around Winnie. The first thing she does when she wakes up is look for Winnie. When she's awake, they play together, and when she wants to go to sleep, it's overlooking Winnie. It feels like we've had some extraordinary luck with introducing new pets. It's very common for it to take months before new cats get along, and for us, it was only about a week. Maybe it's because whenever we get new pets, they're so young, or maybe it's because our pets are already so used to being around other animals, or maybe we just got lucky again. It's likely some combination of all three of those things. Either way, we're happy to have welcomed Winnie into the family. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave me a comment down below. Thanks again, and until next time, goodbye.